Yo, what's up guys? Universal Mastery. So what I do on my channel is I break down the occult sciences and I break them down to an extremely practical level so that you can use them in your day-to-day life and get real, actual results. So what I'm going to be talking about in today's video is a continuation on this archetypal series, and the archetype that we're going to be talking about in today's video is going to be the archetype of the universe. So if you want to know a little bit more about this archetype, then stay tuned for the rest of the video. Okay. Okay, so the first thing I want to say is definitely make sure you go and you check out my Patreon. On my Patreon, half of that content is going to be geared towards actual practices, spiritual practices, where you can get your hands and feet wet. So what I mean by that is I have videos on there where I'm actually performing spiritual practices myself, and I'm also guiding you and showing you how to do them yourself as well, so that you get real, actual results. So for example, I have a video where I'm performing an invocation, a spiritual invocation. That's where it's literally, that's the same thing as summoning a spirit. So I'm performing a spiritual invocation and I'm performing it. So you're watching me do it and I show you how to do it at the same time. Okay, so I have videos that are geared towards that. I have other ones as well, powerful videos, and people that are part of the Patreon have let me know that they're getting really good results from those videos. So definitely check that out. Then the other half of the videos are going to be geared towards educational entertainment. That's what I like to call it. So those videos are going to be more so like this, just, you know, not like the archetypal series, a little bit different. So I literally just uploaded a video today that was titled what you need to know about the self. Okay, just a very important understanding about, you know, yourself and letting go and understanding who you are, you know, as a spiritual being, excuse me. So on my Patreon, it's a balance of both of those types of videos. And where you're going to be able to find my Patreon is if you go to the description, it's going to be that very first link at the top. Okay, it's literally going to say my Patreon right there, and then you're going to see that link. And then you click that, it'll take you to my Patreon. So in order to gain access to these exclusive videos, you have to at least be a tier 2 member or up. So as you go up in tiers, the benefits go up as well. But tier 2 literally only comes out to $9.95 a month, and that's literally less than $1 a day if you actually do the math. So there's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't be able to afford that. Now, first thing I want to say is apologize for the camera going in and out. Usually I don't record here. Right now it's a weird time in the day. It's 7:05 and the lighting's just getting a little bit strange right now because it's starting to get darker. So the camera's just trying to figure out where my face is, so it's going in and out. And once again, I don't usually record here. I usually am recording at my place, but this is my parents' place and they're out of town and I'm watching my cat. So, you know, I gotta do what I gotta do, and I want to upload some videos because I was just visiting some other family, and I feel like I haven't uploaded videos as much as I wanted to, and I've been missing it. So that's the reason why the camera's gonna be going in and out. Regardless, you're still hearing the message, so that's what matters. It's not about my face. At least it might not. Maybe a little bit. It might be a little bit about my face. You know, I like my face. But yeah, so once again, so that's where you're gonna be able to find the Patreon. It's gonna be that first link in the description, and I wanted to give a special shout out to the top tier members of that Patreon as well. Okay, their names are gonna be mentioned right below in the parentheses. You'll see them there right in the description. And I just wanna say, for everyone who is a patron, I love you guys, and I extremely highly appreciate your support, and I'm glad that I'm able to offer you the value that I can as well. And then for anyone that just watches my channel in general, I love all you guys. Okay, I love all of you. But for those of you that are the top tier members, trust me, I got my eyes on you, and keep the work up, because you guys are taking it, you know, a step ahead, and that's what it's about. Okay, that's how you get ahead in life. Okay, so other than that, we're gonna go right into this. Here we go. So this is path 21. Okay, the path of the earth, the way of physical existence, the qualities. Oh, and first thing first, if you're new to this archetypal series, start at the archetype of the Joker. Okay, there's a reason for it. All of these archetypes are connected to the tree of life, the Kabbalah tree of life, from all the different pathways. And then these archetypes are also coming from the tarot deck. The tarot deck also comes from the Tree of Life as well. So this is all interconnected. And there's really a foundational understanding of, you know, where this is all coming from. And I kind of briefly touched that on the first archetypal video, which is titled The Joker, and I put in parentheses, it says start here. But if you're, you know, if you're starting the series, start there. Start where it says start here, okay? You know, and work your way going from path 0 all the way up to this one, which is 21. This is the last archetypal video, okay? So start there, work your way up. And then after I make this video, I'm gonna make another video explaining why I made these archetypal videos and explaining where they're connected and how you can find them and how you can put the pieces together. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna leave it at for now. Okay, so once again, so this is the path of Earth, the way of physical existence, the qualities. Enlightenment, manifestation of full potential, success, accomplishment, prize, completion, liberation from blocks, the end of a journey, a cross, mark and final destination. This path ties foundation and kingdom, bringing everything from above into the material plane of physical existence. Governed by Saturn, the planet responsible for crystallizing thoughts into matter. This road transforms the intangible into concrete blocks of reality. The sphere of foundation blends all the powers of the first 9 spheres and then shoots it into kingdom. It is the path of completion, the path that connects the moon with the earth, okay, the dark with the light. Let me say this again. The sphere of foundation blends all the powers of the first 9 spheres and then shoots it into kingdom, which is Malkuth. So all the other energies from the top, you know, from all the other spheres are shooting down into foundation, which is Yesod, and then shooting down into kingdom, bringing all those energies into one. Okay, so the sphere of foundation blends all the power of the first 9 spheres and then shoots it into kingdom. That's very important to understand. It is the path of completion, the path that connects the moon with the earth. It requires patience and persistence, just as it took human evolution millions of years to send a man to the moon. It will take time and work before all your own personal projects, all your own personal karma blossom once and for all. Okay, so this, just to give you some clarity, this path 21 is the last path that you will be walking if you initiate into the tree. If you are actually going through these initiations, then you will have traveled this path. This would be the last path that you will experience until you essentially step into kingdom, which is Malkuth. So the whole journey of the tree is traveling from kingdom, which is Malkuth, which is the physical plane, which is earth, and going into hell, which is going from Malkuth to Yesod. So that's now the astral plane. So now you're in some form of hell. You're in a darker plane. You're in the subconscious, the unconscious. And then you're having all these experiences. You're remembering things. You're coming to certain understandings. You're feeling it out. Everything's happening. And then once you get to the very top, which is crown, Kether, or if we're talking about the clip off, it's Thamael, then you're going to shoot back down to Malkuth and experience that last pathway. And that's where things are going to start, thoughts will start to crystallize, and things will start to come into the physical plane, which is Malkuth. Okay, all those energies, all those astral energies will crystallize into an actual form. Okay, all right, so here we go, my friends. The affirmation is, I am at one with the divine. The universe bears witness that I am light. Okay, I am at one with the divine. Okay, give me understanding according to thy law. Give me understanding according to thy law. I love that. Okay, the astrological aspect is the planet Saturn, which is the ruler of Capricorn. Okay, planet Saturn, ruler of Capricorn. So this sphere is very military-like. Or not sphere, I said this sphere. This pathway, this archetype is very military-like. So and just to give you some clarity, this is literally where I'm at right now. And I'm going to show you some things that are kind of crazy. But this is literally the pathway that I'm on right now, and I'm experiencing things in my physical reality that are literally directly correlated to the things that I've been reading off here. So when it says the astrological aspect is the planet Saturn, ruler of Capricorn, a lot of the things that I've been drawn towards, a lot of the things that have been presenting themselves to me have been a very military-like kind of teaching. So I've come across a lot of David Goggins. For those of you that don't know him, go search him up right now. He's known to be one of the toughest Navy SEALs out there, who's just like, fuck it, you know, it's about discipline and all that stuff. And do I think like him? No, I don't. I don't want to think like him, but he has certain things that he, you know, are part of his character that I want. I respect that, you know, he's a man of his word. I respect the way he you know, I respect his heart in terms of like seeing where he used to be at and wanting to better himself and doing what he needs to do. Once again, do I want to be where he's at? No, I think he's got some views on the world that I don't agree with, but that should be with anybody. And what I'm concerned with is the aspects of him that I find, what's the word? Admirable? Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Admirable. There's things about him that I really like and I really respect. And that's just one example of someone that's highly governed by the planet Saturn. Like, David Goggins is a great example of someone who is being run by Saturn energy. And, you know, once again, do I want to be in that position? No. Do I want to think like him? No. But I don't think he's always going to be like that. I think that's just where he's at right now, and that's where he's growing. But I think eventually he'll crack and he'll realize like he'll be more connected and he'll feel happier and more satisfied about life. But, you know, right now he's just very disciplined. He's like, he listens to his voice and he's got like this idea like, you know, there's a little bitch inside of him and there's like a monster. And I get that. I know what those voices are. And you want to bring them into unison. Okay. You want to connect those voices because they're both you. You don't want to just eliminate one and accept the other. You want to bring both into unison because that's you. You want to love you. You want to be in balance. Okay. You don't want to always discipline yourself from one, like what's known, you know, what he says is like the bitch in him. Embrace the bitch within you and feel it, understand it, because there's a message that it's trying to tell you. There's something that it's trying to explain itself through your body. And there's a subconscious, unconscious fear inside of him that's preventing him from understanding that voice and really figuring out where it's trying to lead him, because that little inner bitch might be leading him to something more powerful understandings, but he just doesn't realize that. And there's a lot of men, a lot of powerful men that I respect, that I've learned a lot from, that have that same problem. So I want to be someone in my generation that provides a sense of understanding about like what these, you know, what that inner voice is. And, you know, obviously I'm still, you know, on my journey and doing the work, but yeah, that was just a little thing I want to throw out there. So yeah, so that's that. Okay, so the tarot card is obviously the universe. So this connects to the universe. So the universe depicts a woman dancing with a snake. The woman represents Eve, who has attained enlightenment by making peace with the very creature that caused her fall from paradise. By embracing your enemies and setbacks, you can transcend the limitations of matter. Okay? The challenges are, this is the challenges that you're gonna face when you walk this pathway. These are challenges that I've faced and I am facing as of right now. I am on this pathway. I've traveled the whole tree through the clip-off, and now I'm on this final pathway. Okay, and it's been intense, and this is the challenges that you'll experience. Frustration, lack of persistence, which is funny because remember, I was just seeing family. I was just telling you guys about, you know, I was seeing family. And my YouTube channel is something that's very dear to me. Okay, this YouTube channel is an extension of me. This is my soul. You're in my paradigm right now. You're entering in my, you could say, my world. Like, this is me. This is my brand. This is who I am. This represents the universe, and this represents evolution, the laws of nature. That's what my channel represents, universal mastery. So when I'm not able to post normally like I usually do, it itches at me. Like, something in me is like, yo, go make your videos. People need to hear your message. People need to hear what you're sharing. People want to hear what you're talking about. So this is one of the challenges. Frustration. I got frustrated because, and then the next one is lack of persistence, because I wasn't consistent, because I wasn't able to post the way that I usually was. When I was visiting my dad, and this is not an excuse by any means, but when I was visiting my dad, he's a very Christian man. And if he hears me talking about some of the things that I'm talking about with the occult sciences, it would just be a little bit uncomfortable. Once again, it's not an excuse. Next time I go, you know, I haven't been there in 3 years, but next time I go, I'm definitely going to be recording videos daily. I'm going to be making sure they drop. I don't care if they're uncomfortable for him, whatever. If he's uncomfortable, he'll say something to me, but it is what it is. So frustration, lack of persistence, that was real. Falling into a rut. I definitely fell into a rut because there was a lot of past trauma with me and my dad, and understanding him as a person and him understanding me, and just being around my family over there. It was it really, like, a lot of emotions came to the surface, and especially being around my dad. I mean, I love my dad to death, and he's a strong man. And I say that with, like, he's a man. My dad's a masculine kind of man, and he's taught me a lot about life, and I love him to death. Oh man, I'm feeling emotional talking about it. And he's just a great guy, but you know, he's got very strong beliefs and strong ideas on the world, and he always wanted me to believe his ideas and his beliefs and be a Christian like him, and it just was never my path. And it's just not me. It's not who I am. So a lot of our relationship, I feel like he kind of was loving me for someone that I wasn't. Like, he was trying to love me to be somebody that I'm not, and that hurts. And you know, I feel like it kind of created, I don't know, like an inner separation between me and him. So me and him have had a really bad relationship, you know, when I was younger. You know, it's just, and even like when I study astrology, it even says like you and your dad are not going to have a good relationship up until the age of around 30. So it's very interesting. So because I started studying astrology, I came to better realizations of why me and my dad don't have a good relationship. It also made me a stronger me. So it made me a stronger version of myself. And, you know, now I can look at my dad, now that I visited him, you know, it brought a lot of those past emotions to the surface, and I still see where his flaws are, and I'm sure he sees things in me that he doesn't like either. But you know, it's just like we agree to disagree, right? That's now our understanding, and we're now that I'm 24, getting closer to the age of 30, I've matured a lot, and we're able to connect in a much better way than what we used to. But you know, it is what it is. So I fell into a little bit of a mental rut when I, you know, not recently, because visiting him, I had to process all those emotions, and then seeing friends like from back home, like I had to process so much stuff, and yeah, it wasn't easy. But you know, that's how you work through things. That's how you feel things. That's how you become human. That's how you become your best self. You got to process things. Don't hide it. Don't distract it. Don't shove it away. Don't push it away. Feel it. So yeah, so falling into a rut, overly stubborn and materialistic, I could see myself falling into that. A tendency to misuse other people and step over bodies to achieve your own goals, and that as well, literally. I just felt myself taking on this mentality of kind of like cutthroat, cold heart, where it was like, you know what, you know, it was like I gained it, you know, it was just this weird mentality, and that's the best way I can put it. It was a mentality. It was mental. It was all mental, where I fell into this like rut of that because I was dealing with all these emotions. I fell into this mental rut where I had anger and I wanted to release it, and it's like I was able to just control my mind and control people around me, but that's not me. That's not what I want. I don't want to always be controlling people. I don't want to be micromanaging people. I want to be in touch with myself, in control of my emotions, feeling my body and flowing with you know, all the energies around me, flowing in unison with the universe, going from yin and yang and flowing with that. That's how I want to be, because the second I fall into that mental state of, and this is what falling into a rut is, of trying to control everything, then that takes on a life of its own, and then you're trying to micromanage everything, and next thing you know, you're stressed the fuck out, and then you're like, why am I so stressed out? Now things aren't going my way, and then you realize like you're stressing yourself out. You're literally killing yourself. You're literally not enjoying your experience here on Earth because you're trying to control everything and live up to this false idea and this false standard of thinking that you possibly can literally control everything. You can control a lot, but it all starts with understanding yourself and controlling yourself. If you can control yourself by understanding the principles of balance and understanding that the control that you need to have over yourself is not to fall into certain mental states and to be at one, like once you come to that once you come to that recognition of who you are and how you feel and what's authentic for you, if you can control yourself to be able to find that place, you know, whenever, you know, wherever you go, like if you know, whatever situation you're in or when you connect with people, if you can control yourself to stay in that state and not lock on to certain ideas and then get all extreme and, you know, become somebody else, that from that state you can control a lot. Because when you're authentic, when you're aligned with yourself, that's when you're powerful. That's when you have an ability to, you know, you could say manipulate the world around you in a way that's going to be beneficial for you and for them. That's the key. When you control yourself from that position, when you do control other people, it's in their benefit and your benefit. If you're controlling people just from your mental, just from that state of mental and trying to micromanage everything, you're hurting them and you're hurting yourself on a very subconscious level. So I just want to make that clear as well. So the Hebrew, so the Hebrew letter is Tav. The final letter means cross, sign, or tone. It denotes the cross, the sign, or the song set down at the end of the road as a symbol of triumph and dreams fulfilled. Excuse me. It is the flag stuck into the surface of the moon, into your new frontier. And then after this pathway, that's, you know, you have, after that, this pathway is a very big accomplishment because you've now traveled the tree. Whether you traveled the Sephiroth or the Clipoth, doesn't matter. I traveled the Clipoth. So I had a different type of self-development. The Sephiroth will lead you to more so and I'll make a whole video on it. I'm not going to go into it now. So once you finish and you finish this pathway, what happens is you've now uncovered a lot of mysteries. You now are a different person. You have literally died and been risen and, you know, had a rebirth. You are a new person. I'm a new person. I feel different when I started. I look different. I am different. I'm literally different, and I sound different, way different. I sound much more real. I sound much more authentic. I sound much more balanced. And I'm still learning more about my mind. I'm still learning more about my body, my spirit, and all these other things. But I've also created massive alliances when it comes to the spirit realm. I feel like there's a massive protection around me and my family, and I know there is. Yeah, so that's, and from this place, after I finish this path, after I go through this last challenge, then I can start really building, because now I'm in my kingdom, right? So Malkuth stands for kingdom. So now I'm in my kingdom, I can start adding to my kingdom. And a lot of that is going to come from my YouTube channel. So yeah, and I also wanted to touch on one last thing on how real this stuff is. Like, okay, so remember what I was talking about when I read the tarot card? It said the universe depicts a woman dancing with a snake. The woman represents Eve, who has attained enlightenment by making peace with the very creatures that caused her fall from paradise, by embracing her enemies and setbacks so you can transcend the limitations of matter. Okay, so I want to touch up on that. When I was at my dad's place, okay, remember, like I said, me and my dad had a really, you know, bad relationship in the past. Well, he was technically like one of my enemies in the past. That's literally how I used to view him from my old state of being. He was an enemy, and he looked at me probably as an enemy too. I mean, we literally have fought each other, like physical, and I can't even tell you how many verbal altercations we've had. But when I, like, how real that saying was when it said, you know, the universe depicts a woman dancing with a snake, by understanding that, you know, her enemies at the end of the journey made her stronger, and now she has a love, you know, essentially has a love for the ones that she thought were her enemies, but they really weren't her enemies. The whole entire time they were just teaching her, or they were teaching me or teaching you just different aspects about yourself, trying to help you develop, and you just didn't know it at the time. And that's part of the process. You're not supposed to know everything at first. You got to burn through some things. You got to go through the fire, right? And then you come to these understandings. Well, this is how real that shit, like that shit that I just said, this is how real something in the physical world manifested. Me and my dad went on a walk while I was down there, and there was a snake literally trapped in a net that was on the grass, because the grass, I don't know if you guys know, but where he lives, the grass has these like nets underneath of it. That's like when they lay it down, you know, to make it grow and everything. And I guess the net had pulled up because there was a crease, and the net had pulled itself up. But this snake, a pretty big snake, was caught in it. And we were on a walk, and my little brother almost stepped on it. And then we backed up, And I knew instantly that was very symbolic. Like that had a lot of symbolism to it. And, you know, sure enough, my dad, you know, I went, like, this is all intuitive, right? I go and I grab a rod, I go grab a big stick, which is symbolization of a rod, which means I'm controlling the elements. I wasn't really thinking that at the time. Now that I've processed it, it makes sense. I go and I grab the stick. So my intention is I'm gonna hold the snake's head down so that my dad can set it free. And my dad was on board too. He's like, let's go set it free. Like, let's make sure we set it free. So I go and I grab the stick, and that's symbolizing a rod. So it means I've mastered the elements. I have the rod of power. I stick I put the rod on the snake's head so it can't move. My dad gets his knife and he cuts the net from under the snake, and it takes us a little while, but we set the snake free. And that was like a little ritual for me, my dad, and my brother and my sister were there. And like in their mind, they might not see it as that. They might have saw it as, oh, there's a snake and we don't want anyone else to step on it. So let's make sure we free it and set it free. But you know, when you start studying the occult and you start learning, you know, some deeper spiritual truths, there's deep meanings to everything. And that's exactly what that was. I mean, you start to really understand what's going on in life and how everything connects. And that makes life a lot more interesting as well when you can make all those connections. So yeah, so that's, you know, that's what happened. So that literally, like, this whole dancing, coming into union with the snake, like, we set the snake free. Like, go ahead. Like, you were stuck. Like, if we left the snake there, it probably would have died for sure. I mean, it was done. It was stuck, and it was a big snake. We still don't know what kind of snake it was. It wasn't like a garden snake. It looked like it could be venomous. I don't know for sure, but it was, yeah, it was a unique looking snake. But that was really cool, you know, so we did that. So I thought there was some connection between what I read and that experience with the, you know, the snake, dancing with the snake, and coming into, you know, a connection with your enemies and realizing it from a completely different perspective. But yeah, other than that, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up there. That was my experience. I hope you gained a lot of value from this video. And I just want to say, please hit the thumbs up if you like the video. Once again, I'm sorry for the camera going in and out. I don't usually record here. Tomorrow, I'm gonna record a video as well. I'm gonna make sure that the lighting's a little bit different so we don't have this issue. But go ahead, hit that thumbs up, okay? Button's right down there if you enjoyed the video. Come down here, hit the subscribe button, also hit the notification bell right next to it, because I post videos as often as I can. And trust me, I post videos that I guarantee you'll be on YouTube one day, or you'll be doing something, you'll get a notification. The video I post will be exactly what you need to hear. Trust me, I get that all the time. I know that I'm capable of doing that for people. So definitely make sure you check that out, or you hit that notification bell as well, because that'll benefit you. And once again, where you'll find my Patreon is the first link at the top of the description. Okay, it's right there. And the second link below is going to take you to the Facebook community. If you go to the Facebook community, you'll see a pin post that says private group here. Request to join that. I'll add you in. I want to get to 50 people. Right now we're at around 30. Once I get to 50, I'm going to post extra content. What I do is I post extra content on there in the form of written and in pictorial quotes. So definitely make sure you check that out as well. And yeah, other than that, I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day or night wherever you are, and I fucking love you. Peace.